For somebody that is on autopilot, tomorrow really does just end up being yesterday, recycled, you know? It's wild. And I'm not here to, suggest that this is good or bad or right or wrong. I'm just simply observing it for what it is, right? The more I learn about the quantum model of reality and quantum creation, the more I also see Newtonian, the old way of going about things, the usage of time, the exertion, the expenditure of energy. I'm seeing how much personally I have exhausted myself throughout my life trying to go out there and do things out there to force things and make things happen. It's actually funny that I say make things happen because I think it was 2018 when I started to learn this idea of making things happen. Let's go outside of myself. Let's go out there. Let's go out over there and force things and push things and manipulate things to try to make things happen. Right? And it's interesting because I went from make it happen to just being it, right? So like being that, which I'm still there somewhat. And then it's also now it's like just let go. It's the just let go is a matter of like if you have a fishing bob in the water and there are weights on it, right? How do you rise up? How do you ascend? How do you transcend? You let go of the weight. You naturally rise up. Right? So I see that and it's like, oh, okay. And it's kind of cool. But one of the coolest things that I've been doing recently, and this corresponds with a video that I made, I don't know how long ago it was, but it was in accordance with, I think it was back in 2015, either 2015 or 2016 that I started doing this, but I read Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, and I created this trigger where, like, I'd snap my fingers, and I would say, that's not what's happening right now. Right? What's interesting is that this saying that I'm now utilizing is actually similar to that, but it's for a different purpose, kind of. So, that saying is, that's the past. That's the past, right? And so I say this to catch myself when I'm getting sucked back into the past for the very reason to differentiate my future from my past, right? Because I have specific emotions foundationally set up for my future, and I'm also aware of different emotions that are familiar to my past. And this saying is actually doing a similar thing for me as the saying from 2015 or 2016 of, that's not what's happening right now. That saying was more so to get me out of the past and into the present. This saying of, that's the past, that is more so helping me differentiate between the future that I'm consciously creating, specifically through quantum creation, energy, right? And the past, just having that clear sense of differentiation, having that understanding of that's the future, that's the past. And along with that's the past, also comes that's the old self, right? So in terms of change, because again, my personality, I mean anyone's personality creates their personal reality. And sometimes some people's personal reality creates their personality, right? So somebody's personal reality is usually their environment. And oftentimes people are controlled by their environment, right? They react to their environment, and then matter becomes more real than energy for them, right? Because they're reacting to matter. They're reacting to people and things or pets in their environment. That's matter. They're focused more on matter than they are on energy, right? Personality is a matter of focusing on energy, right? So the past, and here, I'm really glad that I just said that, because here's another clear distinction and differentiation between my future and my past. In the past, the personality, sure, it was energy, but it was much more focused on matter and material, because my personality was trying to do things outside of itself to create, right? It was trying to go out there and do things out there to try to create. Now what I'm doing is, now I see it totally differently. Back then I didn't see that life and reality is a mirror for how I see and feel about myself, right? Back then I didn't see that. Now I see that, and it's like, okay, if I want to change something out there, that means I've got to change something in here. And that's the difference. That's the difference. So the reason why this clear distinction and differentiation between the future and the past is what I'm trying to create for myself is because I'm just genuinely trying to consciously move into a future that is conscious and meaningful for me, right? And this saying of that's the past is actually changing things. It's actually transforming things. Because there are things that over the past 3 or 4 days, it's probably at least 5 days at this point, but there are things that are literally dissolving in terms of relevance and everything. Things that I used to be into, things that I used to like. I actually see why I used to like them. Music, not so much movies, but I'll just say movies as an example. Things that I used to be interested in, things that I used to vibe with. The key aspect of all of this, I would argue, is the difference between lack and love. I used to be living from a place of lack. I used to believe that I lacked something or things, right? And as a result of that, that is exactly why I approached life the way that I did. If you believe that you lack something, or if you lack things, right? And I think that this goes on par with the video that I made either yesterday or the day before. But if you live life believing that you lack something or that you lack things, you're going to go outside of yourself to try to get those things or try to get that thing, right? And that's the Newtonian model, right? You're going to wait for a relationship to feel love. You're going to wait for a career to feel successful. You're going to wait for abundance to feel worthy, right? We can generate all that stuff within ourselves. We can feel these things before we even experience an event that would consist of that. We are energy. That's just the way that it is. And so the more that I see this for what it is, because that's literally what it is, it's been proven through science that everything in this universe is energy. It is. Everything in this universe is energy, including us. And as I've learned, we are magnets, right? That is exactly why we have the capacity to attract and manifest. And all we have to do is work with our inner world, work with our energy. It's not anything out there that needs to change. I've spent literally my entire life before, I would say, a few years now. I've spent my entire life trying to chase and manipulate and force outside of myself. It's so humbling. It really is. And now that I know that it's just a matter of working with my own energies, if I don't like something out there, it's not something out there that I've got to go and run after and chase and, move and manipulate and stuff. No. I need to shift internally. If everything in this universe is energy, which it is, proven through science, and we are energy, then we are magnets. Right? Right? It's wild. It's so wild. Not only is it wild, but it's the opposite of exhausting. You know, let me just talk about something real quick because I think it's funny. Growing up, I've always seen this whole idea of working your fucking face off for a long fucking time to then finally at like, I don't know, what, 50 or 60 or 70, get it? Yeah, no. That's not enticing to me. It's not. It's not. And now that I know about quantum creation, you know, working with energies, feeling, like, it's wild that we can just feel great and attract based on that. And of course, it's essential to match that with a clear intention, very specifically detailed intention. But we can. I've been doing it over the past like 4 or 5 days now. And the cool thing too, like, if you don't believe in it, you're not losing anything because you're allowing yourself to feel good. That's what I've noticed has been awesome over the past like 4 or 5 days now. I've felt wildly elevated, and it's wildly rewarding. Yeah. So that's the past. I'm creating a clear and conscious distinction and differentiation between my future and my past. And on a daily basis, I am showing up as my best self and bringing that energy to make sure that I'm doing everything that I need to move into my future with a new personality. The way that I think, the way that I feel, and the way that I'm acting are changing.